Hi friends, it's Teacher Darcy, and we're going to learn some big words about the universe and outer space. The title of this book is ABC Universe, and it's by American Museum of Natural History. A. Astronaut. Astronauts are the people who are trained to go into space. The first astronauts landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969. B. Black hole. A black hole is formed when a very large star runs out of energy and collapses. Nothing can escape from a black hole if it gets too close. C. Comet. A comet is a ball of ice and dust. When a comet moves close to the sun, it can form a long, bright trail. Dwarf planet. A dwarf planet is round and moves around the sun, but is smaller than a planet. Pluto is the most famous dwarf planet. E. Earth. If Earth were a little closer or farther from the sun, it would be too hot or too cold for humans, animals, and plants to exist. F. Flare. A solar flare is a burst of energy from the surface of the sun. G. Galaxy. Galaxies are made up of dust, gas, and stars held together by gravity. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has hundreds of billions of stars in it. H. Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope is a powerful telescope that moves in space and takes pictures of planets, stars, and galaxies. It weighs as much as 2 elephants. Io. Io is one of Jupiter's many moons. Covered by hundreds of volcanoes, Io is the most volcanically active object in the solar system. J. Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the Sun and the largest planet in our solar system. One of Jupiter's storms, the Great Red Spot, has lasted for hundreds of years. K. Kepler Spacecraft. The Kepler Spacecraft was launched into space to look for Earth-like planets where liquid water and life might exist. L. Lunar Eclipse. A lunar eclipse occurs when the Sun, Earth, and the Moon line up, causing Earth's shadow to cover the Moon. The Moon looks red during a lunar eclipse. M. Moon. The Moon is the only natural object to move around Earth. It is also the only other world in outer space that humans have ever visited. N. Nebula. A nebula is a cloud of dust and gas in space. Some nebulae are places where stars are born. Others are formed when stars die. O. Orbit. An orbit is the path that an object takes as it moves around another object. P. Planets. A planet is a large, round object that orbits the Sun. There are 8 planets in our solar system. Q. Quasar. Quasars are very bright objects that are in the center of very distant galaxies. R. Rocket. Rockets are used to launch satellites, astronauts, and other objects into space. S. Supernova. A supernova is an explosion of a star. It can be incredibly bright and is the largest explosion in space. This photo is of the remains of a supernova explosion. T. Telescope. Telescopes are instruments that help people see faraway items. Astronomers use them to study planets, stars, and other objects in space. U. Uranus. Uranus is the 7th planet from the Sun at 1.8 billion miles away. Its orbit around the Sun takes 84 years. V. Voyager. Voyager 1 is a space probe that was launched in 1977 to study the outer solar system. It is the most distant human-made object in space. W. White dwarf. A white dwarf is a star that has run out of energy. Billions of years from now, the sun will turn into a white dwarf. X. X-ray binary. An X-ray binary is a pair of stars where one star is collapsed and pulls material off the other star, producing X-rays. Y. Yellow dwarf. A yellow dwarf is a medium-sized star, like our sun. Even though it is called a yellow dwarf and looks orange here, our sun is actually white. Z. Zenith. The zenith is an imaginary point directly overhead. Wow, friends, that was a lot of new stuff we just learned about outer space. I'm here if you have any questions. Be safe, be healthy, and remember, you're so very loved.